Alright, Alexa's over here. And in the previous video, I was talking about how AMD has that stroke. So now I switched to the NVIDIA card. And I'm going to run that same map and see if this GPU has that stroke. This is a 2060 Super. So it's actually even weaker. So let's see how it goes. Alright? Yeah. If this GPU also has that stroke, that means the game is fucked. I think the stroke is happening because of my avatar. You can see my avatar lagging pretty hard. But in general, look at that. In general, overall, the frame rate is way lesser. It's not that noticeable, you know? Let me try to crash. Oh, there's a one frame rate over there. It's not that often, or it's not that... what do you got it? Obvious, like in AMD. Yeah. It is there. The frame rate is there, but it's way lower, as you can see. There are DLSS in this game. Doesn't seem like it. Let's go to ultra quality so my avatar doesn't have a freak show. Oh, I still have that. Hard. But you can see, it's way lower. Like, it doesn't happen that often. Like, not that this game. This is a really high extreme, right? But almost every game you play, it's way less noticeable than in AMD. And I can guarantee you, any game you want to run on the market will run with no issues or with least amount of issues in NVIDIA. Like, you can close your eyes, update the driver as soon as it comes out, and then never have to worry about game issues whatsoever. It's just literally a plug and play. But as for AMD, you gotta play, you gotta fucking read their patch notes. Like you are playing League of Legends or something, you know? Like every patch you have to read it. Otherwise, you will never know which of the drivers is gonna freak out and die. Look at this. It's way smoother. Period. A weaker card that's way smoother than the higher end card. Come on. Haven't seen it yet. Even it has a stroke, it has only once. Or at very least. You know? I'm literally handing my GPU with my avatar over there. My avatar barely even moves. No stutter whatsoever. Look at this. You see? Nothing. So if you are just an average player or average PC and gamer, you might as well get the Nvidia and then call it a day. You know, it just works straight up. If if a game doesn't work on Nvidia GPU, that means the game is at fault. If a game doesn't work on the AMD GPU, that means the driver is somehow fucked up. You know, it's just a headache. Okay, I beat him. Sweet. Wow, the first place is too high though. I don't think I can reach that. The funny part is, I will give you this. The funny part is, this game worked actually pretty decent on AMD before. I just updated the driver and then it got fucked. Like, why do I have to worry about a game that I want to play fucking up every time I upgrade my graphics driver, you know? Because I recently wanted to play Once Human, and then they made a new update for that driver, right? Update for that game. So I updated that driver, and then it broke the Fortnite, and then it broke this game as well. Like, why? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Look at this. Look at how fast I'm going, and there is literally zero stutter. It never has the stroke. This is a very high extreme, by the way. This is as you can see, it's a very fast-paced game. And you see how Nvidia handling it pretty well. Alright, you get the idea. I think it's just in every feature, the DLSS is way better. Like if you play on 1080p, it is. I'm not gonna lie and say it's amazing or anything like that. It does its job quite well in 1080p DLSS quality settings. If you put that on that settings, you can play it at high settings in your game, the AAA games, and it slightly blurs it out because it upscales the game, right? But it's not that noticeable. Like you have to pixel people to figure that out. You know, unless you are really sensitive to the blurriness. I am pretty sensitive to FPS, but I don't really mind that blurriness it has in the DLSS. You know, it just works way better. FSR has a cleaner, like a sharper image, but I think they are using image sharpening to do that thing, right? So I think even if you are in a low end, you buy Nvidia. So if you are in a higher end, you buy Nvidia as well. So why the fuck you would buy an AMD? You know? Why would you don't even have a reason to get an AMD GPU. You know? Like, I think what they should do, I really want the AMD card to compete. Because if they don't compete, we are going to have an Intel with NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA is going to stay on fucking 8 gigs of VRAM forever, you know? They did one thing with the 3060. With the 12 GB of VRAM. That's pretty much it. And then they immediately go back to the 8 GB of VRAM, you know? Not to mention the bus with this complete dog shit as well. So I want NVIDIA to have a competition. Like Intel is doing a good job as well. But I don't have an Intel card. I don't think Intel has this startup. Maybe, maybe not. But in order to win this fight, I think AMD should focus pretty hard in the mid-range. Do not go high-end. Your GPU is lacking. You don't have the high-end features. Or the high-end features you have are not that quality, you know. Focus on mid-range. I would say there is another thing they can do. There are two things they can do. Let me pull up my notepad. I want to talk about this. I really want AMD to do better. Because I think they're like an underdog, right? Let's see. So, things to do things AMD should do to compete. Focus on low end and mid range. Because if they focus on low and mid range, we might have a RX 580 or a 480 situation, you know. If they come up with a card, imagine a card that's as fast as the 2080 Ti for $300. It's gonna sell like hotcakes. That's what they did with the RX series, you know. If they do it like that, like a $300 2080 Ti, I mean, it's possible. They already reached it with the 6700 XT, right? And then the problem with these guys, their driver department is quite small, right? So what would you do in order to fix that issue is reduce the model numbers of cards you have. You know, instead of having like a 6600, 6600 XT, 6700, 6700 XT, 6800, 6800 XT, having this amount of model cards is spreading your driver department thin, right? Instead of having that amount, like have like a, I would say, like I would go for two models, like the lower end one and then a higher end one, like Intel did it, right? The RTA 70, right? That's a lower end, and the RTA 750, and then there is a 770, I think. So they just did a two model and then focused on improving the driver. Like you've seen those articles, right? 200 FPS improvement, 200% performance improvement or some shit. So if you reduce the amount of GPUs you come up with, you have more driver department can focus on that. That's why consoles are way better. Because consoles only have one hardware, so they can just focus completely on it. You see how it works? It has only one CPU die. So it's way easier to make drivers for that. You know? So in a GPU department, I think they are doing it in the newer generation, right? The 8000 series doesn't have a what do you call it? Doesn't have a higher end like the flagship model. Flagship model, who fucking cares? Nobody can afford that. Only like 2% of the whole population can afford a flagship model. You might as well focus on low and mid range and then have a banger like a 580 or 480 and then fucking flood the market with a GPU. The only reason AMD even survived with their RDNA was because of the mining boom. Without the mining boom, they're gonna tank hard. Like, give us a value product. You know? That would be so good. I gave them a chance. Like, I bought a 6700 XT, but they fucked up with the drivers every time I updated, and then I don't get to play the games I want to play, you know? So, reduce the number of cards. They have too many models that literally can't, what do you call it? Like they literally can't manage them properly, you know? That's the problem. I think what else they can do? Focus on the drivers. Drivers should work. Drivers should work, period. And they should hire more people for their drivers too. Like I don't want to play a minesweeper with my drivers every time I update it, you know? Playing minesweeper, if you press the bomb and then there is a bomb and then that game just bombs on your computer, you know? It never works. And then it crashes. The recent first Descendant, that bitch game completely shut off my PC every time I play it. Like, what the hell? You know? I have to literally update my driver in order to play that game. But when I did that, every other game I was playing was completely broken. You know? Like, why? What the fuck? Drivers should work on all games, period. What else they can do? Focus on low and mid-range. Drivers should work. That's pretty much it. Like, you don't have to do anything else. Like, give us a value product. Focus on low and mid-range because that's where you are good at. You know? Like, you don't have to compete with the AMD. I don't know why the fuck they thought they should compete with the AMD at all. Like, do you think Android is competing with iPhone? No, they are fucking not. They made a software that is accessible to everyone in the fucking planet. And everybody in the fucking planet use an Android phone now. Why do you think they do that? One of the reasons is their software works and it's very accessible and cheap. You see how it works? Make your product work and then you make it accessible and cheap. Like I would guarantee, I think they shouldn't make a GPU above $600. It's just suicidal. Do not do it. Don't waste your time. What the fuck? I mean, unless you are a super AMD fanboy, I don't think you are gonna buy. See the competition. You don't even stand a chance against the 4070 or 4070 Super. Compete there. That's where your market. That's where the people buy stuff. Not higher Uber gear market, you know. Like, come up with a card that competes with the 4070 with 16 GB VRAM. You are gonna fucking massacre that thing. And then it should work out of the box. This is the important part. Whether it's value or great deal, or I don't give a fuck. It should work every game you play. That's all you need. Try to focus on that. And then I will buy your card any day over Nvidia. I like your features. Your driver, the Adolin software is super fun to use. And this card, the 6700 XT, underworks like a motherfucker. Like, I just chopped off like 70 watts off of my car GPU. And it felt so good doing that, you know? I literally lost like 5 FPS and then chunked dipped like 70 watts off of my card. You know, undervolting is super good on AMD compared to Nvidia. This card I'm running right now is undervolted. But it only dropped like 40 watts or something at best. But that's pretty much it, right? But AMD card is really good at undervolting. So it has super niche. So if you're a Linux user, maybe consider AMD. But if you want to play, or if you're a working person or something like that, go for Nvidia. It's just not gonna happen. AMD, I mean, it's not like they given up or anything. They learned their lesson. That they can't compete in the higher end, and it's actually good. You know, they're not gonna just quit making GPUs. They're still gonna make GPUs, right? But make it better. Like, make the drivers good. You know, and then it would be amazing. Maybe they should go full open source and then make people make drivers for it or something, you know, and then they can just check if it has viruses or some stuff and then upload it in their site or something like that. They actually kind of have one, but it's kind of meh, you know. Things to aim should do to compete. Higher end, waste of time. Don't waste your time on higher end. Like, you were never going to beat a 4090 or 4090 Ti. They're going to come up with the next year 5090. How in the fuck you are going to compete? Do you guys remember? Like, Polaris can't even do shit against Nvidia. But what they did, they made a good mid-range card, right? And then they had SLI. So you buy 2 of the AMD cards and then run it on fucking SLI. Like 2 GPUs in the same computer, and then it will beat 1080 or something like that. You know, that's the value. That's the market you will have to focus on. You know, most people the highest amount of people is in China and India, right? They buy Nvidia because they know it works, and then it's value for money, right? You have to compete on that market and become Android yourself. You know. Okay, I think I ranted enough. I think they have a chance. If they play their cards right, AMD has a chance. Now Intel is on the fucking fray. Now you have to compete with Intel. Man, this is the time, this is the really hardest time for them to compete. Otherwise, Intel is going to take over the shit out of AMD. You know? Because Intel is already way better, because they have gajillion dollars they can throw at drivers, you know. As soon as they fix their drivers, Intel is in the same issue as this one, but they have so much departmental money and then a department, right? The driver department is way bigger, probably. And then they will just fucking make a driver that works on every game. They're going to curse from AMD. You know, it's going to be brutal. Like GPU market is getting really competitive now. Like look at this. Intel is actually playing their cards right. Arc A770, 16 GB VRAM, compared to 3070, right? You see how it works? So you come up with a 8700 XT, and it competes with 4070 Super for $350. And then you have a banger on your hands. Jesus Christ. And then you can, this is the funny part. If you have a smaller chip, you can make so many of them, and then you can sell them for a good amount of price. You know? Higher margins, nobody wants to buy your higher end cards. Just don't cope with that. People would buy your higher end card. Why the fuck they would? Higher end cards are needed by professionals, right? The people who play professionally or the professional works they have. Why the fuck they would buy an AMD? Think about it. Think for 2 seconds. Jesus Christ. I don't know. The marketing department and the management in AMD, I think they are completely delusional. You don't stand a chance. Higher end market is not yours. Do what you are good at. Oh my god. They're making me mad. Alright. I think that will do. And I will see you guys later. Alex is signing out.